It's both an honor and a privilege to be here with you, and it's incredibly humbling to stand before you and to share my life's journey with you, and I'm so grateful that you came out tonight and you're willing to hear about the power of forgiveness that is available to us for transformation. So I'm glad I got a microphone, I got a thing to change the slides, I can wander around, I can slide into the wall, I can move around up here. It's a good thing, so I'll move around a little bit. But I want to tell you about my journey to forgiveness, okay? Can I just be honest? I came kicking and screaming to the work of forgiveness. I thought I had it all figured out. If you ask me about forgiveness, I could give you lots of answers. But it wasn't until after 9/11 that I really discovered the truth about forgiveness. And that's when my journey to forgiveness began. I was the priest in charge of the church after 9/11 in New York City. I should start with Bishop Tutu. I always try to start with a slide. Without forgiveness, there is no future. I've had the privilege of meeting Bishop Tutu and doing some work in South Africa, and I'm in awe at the vision and the courage that it took to put in place this Truth and Reconciliation Commission, and the courage it took for both Bishop Tutu and especially President Mandela to choose the path of forgiveness. Extraordinary. So I'm always wanting to remind myself of what Bishop Tutu said, that without forgiveness there is no future. So my journey to forgiveness began on the morning of 9/11. But let me back up and tell you a little bit about how I got there. So this is St. Paul's Chapel. This is the oldest building in New York City in continuous use. It is the 1766, and that's old for us. But when our first president, George Washington, was inaugurated as the first president, he went to St. Paul's Chapel because the capital was in New York City at the time. He went from the Federal Hall to St. Paul's Chapel to pray about that. And there's still a pew inside of St. Paul's Chapel honoring our first president, George Washington. I was called to be the pastor in charge of St. Paul's Chapel in April of 2001. I got there just in time to get unpacked before 9/11 happened. When I was called to be the pastor at St. Paul's Chapel, I was called to start a new ministry there, to create a new way of doing church. And for the closet mad scientist in me, I was ecstatic. So to me, that meant a jazz mass. We did all kinds of music. We did hip-hop, we did jazz, we did a form of jazz so far out there that doesn't even have melody. It's called sound painting, and I can't even begin to describe it. But that's what we were up to. That's what I thought I was going to be doing when I started this work at St. Paul's Chapel in April of 2001. This is an advertisement that we put in all the magazines in New York City at the time, advertising our services. We had done a pilot program for the summer of 2001, and the idea being that we would do a pilot program and then we'd start in September. We're going to start on September 17th, actually, to restart the ministries and the worship at St. Paul's Chapel. And so we put this rather, I thought it was cool, advertisement, You can go nowhere, you can go somewhere, and then there's the church in the background. So, but here's the cover of the Village Voice in which this advertisement appeared. 9/11 happened, it was too late to stop the presses. The Village Voice had already pretty much been printed, and it was available. And this is the picture that was on the cover of the Village Voice, which just went out of publication about a month or two ago, I'm sad to say. Very prominent newspaper in New York City. So someone's holding a postcard up where the Twin Towers used to be. Wish you were here. This is St. Paul's Chapel on the morning of 9/11. I thought rather than just talk around this, I would share with you a couple of paragraphs from the prologue of a book that I hope someday will be finished. And I thought, if it's okay, I'd share with you a couple of paragraphs from the prologue. The sky is on fire, like a newly poured can of gasoline meeting its match. The air is thick with burning, a gray and black sludge that sears my eyes, stirring panic. As I run north, they are running south, seeming zombies in suits covered in ashes, white shirts covered in soot and blood, screaming war, destruction, sirens, helicopters, and then the ground convulsing explosion of the second plane colliding with the South Tower, an apocalyptic fireball announcing the end of time as we knew it. But at this moment, the strangest thing happened. A peace and calm came over me. It was like a force field right in the middle of the trauma that blocked out every threat, every sound. And for a moment, all was quiet. In this zone of peace, I discovered something about myself, that I'm not afraid to die. I don't want to die prematurely. I want to see my daughter grown and to meet and cuddle my grandchildren. I want to travel, to cherish life and love and explore God's beautiful creation, all of its sumptuous manifestations. But in this moment, I find a peace surpassing understanding and a realization that all of life, and death is most certainly a part of life, all of life is held in the compassionate, loving, and merciful hands of God. This moment changed everything. It would take years of contemplation, conversation, therapy, and prayer to understand even the smallest part of this truth. But in that moment, as my life hung in the balance, at a time when I could just as easily have been taken by falling debris as not, I caught a glimpse of eternity and the truth that life is the most precious gift of all. On the morning of September 11th, 2001, I was standing at the foot of the South Tower when the second plane hit it. And we had a harrowing morning. I'll just say a little bit more about that. Evacuating children from our preschool because of the attacks, the towers collapsing, and the air filtration systems filling with the sludge that came from it. So we couldn't breathe and we couldn't see, so we each grabbed a child and ran out of the back of the church building away from the collapsing buildings. It was a trauma that will forever be seared in my imagination. But you know what happened after that? The city of New York and, in Washington and Pennsylvania got out of bed and responded, I like to title this talk sometimes 9/12, and I say that 9/11 happened. It was covered by every media outlet in the world, but the equally important story is 9/12, the day we responded with hearts of compassion and love and courage to meet the needs of those who were still struggling for their lives in the site, and for those who were serving and trying to find them. So, all that being said, we set up a feeding station at St. Paul's Chapel. And this was the source of great misery and great humor, and I'll tell you both. So here we are, gathering supplies at the Siemens Church Institute, which was a few blocks from the church. We started serving food on the sidewalk. This photograph has become known affectionately as the barbecue on Broadway. Now, if you look at this general confusion and mess, you might not be surprised to hear that the health department had some issues with us. The health department shut us down twice a day. So when they came through and shut us down the first time, We waited until they left, and we restarted the coals, and we started cooking again. This went on for a week. Finally, I was exasperated, and I went over to the police captain, and I said, hey, you got to help us out here. We're trying to feed your guys, your men and women who are working in the site, and the health department. These people are shutting us down. Can't you help us out? And he said, you let me know when they come back. And so I did. And they came back. They started shutting us down. But the police captain gathered a dozen of his biggest, burliest guys, and they walked over and they encircled the 5 people from the health department, and they locked arms, and they marched them away. You never knew it was going to happen on any given day at St. Paul's Chapel. So that happened, but soon thereafter they came and they had the Trump card that had the name Giuliani on it, the former mayor of New York, and at that time he was a celebrated leader of the 9/11 experience. And so they honored him and they said, okay, we can't get in the way. So he started serving food inside the church, and the same people were coming by that time. Ultimately served over 500,000 meals at St. Paul's Chapel. This is a picture of my 40-year-old self standing out there. I think of that Bob Dylan tune. When I see this picture, I was so much older then, but I'm younger than that now. The weight of the world, you know. We had a lot of volunteers, including the former mayoral candidate, Hillary Clinton. Over 15,000 people, 15,000 volunteer shifts, some were repeat volunteers, serving over 8.5 months. It was a pretty big time operation. We had music going on 3 and 4 times a day. We had massage therapy, which was by far our most attractive station. There was a line of people waiting to get their massage. And podiatrists were working around the clock. When they asked us where they could set up, we said, well, in our country's history, the Valley Forge campaign was a pretty significant military campaign in which George Washington, our first president, led his army through the snow without boots. And we thought, well, given that situation, why don't we put the podiatrist in George Washington's booth? So we did. I don't have the picture there, but we did, and they loved being there, and they covered it with photographs. We had people sleeping in St. Paul's Chapel. You know, on any given night, we could have up to 100 people sleeping in St. Paul's Chapel, workers from the site. Someone sent us a bunch of teddy bears. What in the world are we going to do with teddy bears? Boxes and boxes of teddy bears. I just didn't have a clue. I said, we'll put some out in the pews and we'll see what happens. These big strapping police officers would often come in and grab a teddy bear and go take a nap and snuggle with the teddy bear. It was a tender moment to see that. Covered in cards and letters from all over the world. When they first started putting the letters on the walls, I thought, no, we can't do this. I hit the roof. We just spent $300,000 renovating St. Paul's and giving it a new paint job. But then I saw this and I said, plaster replace. Let's go for it. This is outside of St. Paul's. We got everything from a scout shirt to a canoe to a bag of marijuana. You never knew what people were going to leave. Yeah. Yeah, I gave it to Officer Gail Douglas, and she was one of the officers there, and she said, don't give that to me. Flush that. Do you realize how much paperwork I'm going to have to do if you give me that? I gave it to one of my employees, and I assume he flushed it. So here's more. We put some banners on the fence just to see if people wanted to sign them. Within 30 minutes of putting the first one up, it was full. Over the course of 8.5 months, we got over 300 of these canvases. This is a picture of me doing last rites on body bags in the site. It's from a book called Requiem at Ground Zero by a fellow photographer named Gary Susan. He sent me this. I didn't even know he was taking pictures. So we got cards and letters from kids, and they were the most precious thing we got. This is from a little girl in Tennessee named Sky. Dear rescue dogs, and we have rescue dogs in St. Paul's. What breed of dogs are you? What are your names? I have a dog named Lucky. Love, Sky. And every child was connected to the experience, and it didn't matter whether they lived next door or on the other side of the continent. When they saw this on TV, they connected with it immediately. This little boy sent a picture indicating that he was helping out, because look at this tractor, this crane is clearing up at the site. The name on the side is Tonka. How precious is that? This is a long letter. I won't read it all, but I'll tell you the gist of the letter. It's from a little girl who was writing to the firefighters to thank them for what they do. And she said, "Dear firefighter, there are many deaths that I could die." And then she names them all: AIDS, hepatitis, leukemia, natural causes, choking, being shot or hanged, and I could get the death penalty. All these things could happen. And then after she listed about 30 of them, she said, and many, many more. Well, she had an active imagination. But then she said, "But I know that I will never, ever die in a fire, because brave people like you would go into the fire to save an ordinary person like me." Isn't that beautiful? So, one of my challenges, and this is why my journey from ground zero becomes a journey to forgiveness, is because there is a difference of opinion about how to run the ministry at St. Paul's Chapel. And I was on staff at a larger church, and my responsibility was for St. Paul's. And the hierarchy didn't always agree with how I ran the mission at St. Paul's. And being the self-righteous whippersnapper that I was, I thought I did what I thought was right. And so there was a battle, and I lost. And so this is the story in the New York Times of my leaving St. Paul's Chapel. So I went from there, and I had so much conflict in my life at that point. I lost my job, which turned into my marriage failed, which turned into losing a house in foreclosure, which also meant I was a part of the World Trade Center Health Registry Program, which diagnosed me with PTSD, depression, and about 5 or 6 different lung-related problems. So I was pretty bitter. I have to tell you, I was not a happy camper. I've always been a pleasant person, but I was in a dark place here. And the conflict meant that my life changed significantly. Now, there are different ways of looking at conflict. For example, the issues of the folks in charge of the larger church had concerns about liability, which is a very realistic concern. I didn't really share that concern. There were other issues like that. So here we have more articles in the Times. Here's an article that kind of predicted it all. The martyrdom of Lyndon Harris in the German newspaper Die Zeit. So here's what I had: PTSD, depression, lung problems. I logged over 240 days working at the site. I was bitter. And basically, this is a new book that came out that really helped influence my thinking, and especially as I'm doing forgiveness for companies and workshops on forgiveness in the workplace, is to acknowledge that there are different strategies for different sets of the leadership of a company. And his understanding is that, we have these top-down centralized parts of the organization, and then the bottom-up decentralized Parts of the organization, well, of course, I was over here. I've always liked teal. That's one of my favorite colors anyway. Well, I found out what Lily Tomlin said, that forgiveness means giving up all hope of a better past. I tried changing what happened to me. I wasn't successful. Has anybody here tried to change the past? Yeah. Doesn't really work. Took me years to figure that out, though. And then, again, I read Bishop Tutu's book, No Future Without Forgiveness, and it made very clear to me that I needed to open my heart to this idea of forgiveness. A friend of mine, a guy who became a friend of mine, another Stanford person, called me up out of the blue, and we were talking, and he said, "Hey, Lyndon, I think you ought to forgive these guys, and we should start a garden of forgiveness at Ground Zero." I won't tell you how angry my response was, and then I slammed the phone down. "What do you mean forgive? Do you realize what happened to me?" I was not a happy camper, as I said. But then I thought, as an Anglican priest at the time, it was kind of in my job description. This is the saying that really captured me. Resentment and non-forgiveness is like drinking poison and hoping it will kill your enemies. Does anybody relate to that? Yeah. I've drank some of that poison. It tastes so good, but it's so bad for us. So what is forgiveness? Now I'm going to go into Dr. Luskin's understanding of forgiveness, just so you know what I'm talking about. Before we get there, I have a definition from Bob Enright at the University of Wisconsin in the States. Forgiveness is a personal decision to give up resentment and to respond with beneficence toward the person responsible for a severe injustice that caused deep and lasting hurt. So forgiveness is giving up our perceived right of revenge. But why would we do that? Because it's good for us. It's become very clear in the emerging science of forgiveness that there are so many health benefits of forgiveness, and that nursing a desire for revenge is detrimental to our health. Surprisingly, forgiveness has many health benefits. Lowers blood pressure, lowers the heart rate, increases a sense of peace and well-being, increases joy and creativity. It's good for our health on a par with quitting smoking. This is a new study that just came out. Can you believe that? Forgiveness is good for our health on a par with quitting smoking. Dr. Luskin, who will be here in about a month or so, says that holding on to a grudge is a higher risk indicator for heart attack than hostility. Hostility, you flame up really quick, get angry quick, and then you let it go. But if you're nursing a grudge, you're holding on to something, and it just intensifies. When a deep injury is done to us, we never really heal until we forgive, because there's an energetic bond between the perpetrator and the victim. And as victims, if we continue to nurse a desire for revenge, we keep that energetic bond alive. The benefits of forgiveness, a study published by the Journal of Behavioral Medicine. Forgiveness brings about improvement in physical symptoms, the number of medications used, sleep quality, fatigue, medical complaints. It's the science behind the benefits of forgiveness is crystal clear. So what is forgiveness, and how can I do it? Where can I get some of that? Let's talk about what forgiveness is not first. Forgiveness is not condoning unkindness. It's not okay to be treated unkindly. Forgiveness is not forgetting that something painful happened. Forgiveness is not excusing poor behavior. Forgiveness does not have to be an otherworldly or even religious experience. It's a human experience. It's wonderfully baptizable in all the faith traditions. But Dr. Leskin's methodology is a wellness methodology. Forgiveness is not denying or minimizing your hurt. This is big. Forgiveness does not mean reconciling with the offender. You can forgive because we forgive for ourselves. If there is amendment and restitution and apology, then and a change of behavior, then reconciliation becomes something worth exploring. Forgiveness does not mean you have to give up having feelings. You know, if someone has hurt you, it's natural to feel hurt and to feel anger and to feel, sadness. Forgiveness does not exclude justice. You may forgive someone, but you also, an example of this is in the States, in Charleston, South Carolina, near where I live. About 3 years ago, a young man went into a church and shot 9 people who were there for a study. The next day, the family members of those 9 people put out a press statement saying that we forgive the perpetrator, not because he deserves to be forgiven, but because we deserve peace. We forgive him, but we do not give up our right to justice. Prosecute him to the fullest. There's a difference between justice and revenge. So what is forgiveness? All right. And this is a clinical definition. This is there's so many definitions out there. This is Dr. Leskin's definition of forgiveness. Forgiveness is the peace you learn to feel when you let go of an unresolved grievance. If you have a grievance against someone and you carry it around, it really becomes a heavy burden because it doesn't diminish over years, it grows. Forgiveness is for you and not for the offender. We forgive for ourselves because we deserve peace. Forgiveness is taking back your power. I like to talk about forgiveness as taking back your power from being a victim in someone else's story to becoming the hero on your own journey. The details of the story may be the same. This happened, this happened, this happened, and this is what I did to respond, but the energy is totally different. If you're a victim, you're always on the lookout for other ways that your victimization might be reinforced. To the hammer, everything is a nail. But to forgive is to release that victim's narrative and to claim your own power as the hero on your own journey. And it's so important here to acknowledge again, or to reiterate, that forgiveness and reconciliation are 2 different things. For example, in our work with people suffering domestic violence, we encourage forgiveness because that's taking back your power. We don't encourage reconciliation. We never want to encourage people to go back into abusive situations. But if you continue to hold on to that energetic bond as a victim in someone else's narrative, then you spend your life in a sad and lonely place. Through forgiveness, you can release that and claim your own power as the hero on your own journey. Forgiveness is taking back your power. It's taking responsibility for how you feel. Forgiveness is about your healing and not about the people who hurt you. This is interesting. Forgiveness is a trainable life skill, just like learning to throw a baseball or kick a football. There are some exercises that we can use and we can learn, and we can get better and better at the art and the science of forgiveness. Forgiveness helps us get control over our feelings, and forgiveness improves our mental and physical health. And as I said, forgiveness is becoming a hero instead of a victim. Forgiveness is a choice. You don't wake up and say, oh, well, today I feel like forgiving. I don't wake up that way. But you can't wake up and say, I'm going to make this day my masterpiece. It's such a blessing to be alive, and I'm not going to spend my day being weighed down by burdens of grievances. I'm going to release those. I'm going to forgive. Everyone can learn to forgive. But when something happens in our life that we don't want to have happen, or something happens we wish hadn't happened, we form a grievance. We form a grievance against another person over the way that we were treated, leading to anger and resentment. For example, if I'm driving down the road, and I hear this happens often in this city as it does in the city where I used to live, New York City, someone may cut you off in traffic. That can be a grievance that you have. You start thinking, well, that guy went out of his way to cut me off in traffic. And before long, you reinforce that, and then you're thinking, well, everybody's out to cut me off in traffic. That's when you take your grievance to a victim's narrative. Also, grievances, we can have grievances with ourselves. We can form a grievance against ourselves that can fester into regret, resentment, remorse, and shame. So we can form a grievance against life or God or the universe or your higher power or whatever you want to say that fertilizes our resentments and takes our unhappiness to epic lengths. You can have a resentment or a grievance against the guy who cut you off in traffic, but man, if you work up one against the universe, that's big. When we create a grievance story, and every time we share the story, we suffer physically. We suffer physically. Cortisol is dumped into our system. Our blood pressure increases. Our pulse rate increases. Our breathing quickens. Our perspiration increases. The ability to get over our wounds is crucial to health, both emotional and physical. So when you forgive, you know when you change the past, but you sure do change the future, because you're letting go of the burdens of the past, you've processed that, and you're embracing your future with a lighter bag, not so heavy. But when we nurse grievances instead of doing the work of forgiveness, they can fester into leading us into a desire for revenge. So I've kind of put in the framework here. A grievance can lead to a victim's narrative, can lead to a desire for revenge. Everett Worthington, who is a professor at Virginia Commonwealth University, has done amazing studies of the brains of some of his participants in his experiments, and through MRI test, he has shown that when the person thinks about revenge, it lights up the pleasure pathways in the brain. The same pathways that light up when we eat chocolate. That's scary. That's maybe why we call it sweet revenge. The problem with revenge, though, is there ain't no future in it, Mark Twain said. And Alexandra Asali, one of my mentors, says that revenge is like a time bomb thrown into the future. This side did this to that side. That side responds. That side response. On and on and on. It's crazy, right? No future. The alternative to revenge is forgiveness. This is so interesting. To forgive is to set a prisoner free and discover that the prisoner was you. Remember, I said forgiveness is something we do for ourselves. Forgiveness is a trainable life skill that helps heal grievances, increases hope, optimism, offers a real-world approach to the transformation of conflict. Forgiveness is good for us. Forgiveness is the healing bond that helps our relationships work. I used to tell all my couples in premarital counseling that the only conflict-free existence is death. And they say, thank you. I thought we were planning a wedding. And I say that because it's true. It's not a matter of whether we'll have conflict or not. It's a natural part of life. But how we deal with conflict has such an important role in our health and happiness. Forgiveness is a healing balm that helps us navigate the conflicts that inevitably happen in life. Forgiveness is good for businesses. There's a great article in Forbes magazine, a prominent business magazine in the USA, about forgiveness as the least understood forgiveness trait in leadership. Forgiveness creates loving communities. Forgiveness is a trainable life skill. I'm just reiterating. Everyone can learn to forgive. Forgiveness helps us heal the past and create the future. Forgiveness can begin the healing of a nation. So there are two basic forces in the universe, I believe, fear and love. And then there are two kinds of fear. The fear of losing something I have, and the fear of not getting something I want. Does that make sense? I like to illustrate this with a story about a monkey. Monkeys and scientists in a section of India have discovered a humane way of capturing monkeys so they can study them. Do you know what they do? They take a coconut and they hollow out the little indention, the soft spot, and they drain it of the juice. Then they place a piece of cheese inside of it, something that a monkey could smell from a distance. They secure the coconut to the ground, and the monkey comes prancing along, smells the morsel of food, gets really excited, and goes over to collect the food. And when he gets to the coconut, he puts his hand inside, and he grabs that morsel of food, but as he holds the morsel of food in his hand makes a fist. And with a fist, he can't, he's stuck. He can't remove his hand. He's afraid of losing something he has. He's afraid of not getting something he wants. But all the while, if he just let go, he'd be free. We are afraid to let go of our grievances because they somehow define us. We are afraid to let go of them because we think we're letting someone off the hook. We're afraid to give up our resentments because we like them. But everything you want is on the other side of fear. Jack Cornfield said, that's Cornfield, I misspelled his name. Kornfield. Everything you want is the other side of fear. Marianne Williamson, have you guys heard of her work? Her book, Return to Love, was such a huge book in the States about 15 years ago. Love is to feel as light is to dark. In the presence of one, the other cannot exist. So wherever there is a place of fear in your life, think of one thing, even if it's just a thought you can think, where you can generate love to cast out the fear. Love casts out fear. So, what are you afraid of? Please don't feed the fears. They'll grow. They'll grow along with your resentments and your victim's narrative. Don't feed them. You know, the story Plato tells of the two wolves, and the one that's predisposed towards evil and the one predisposed to good. Well, which one's going to live? The one you feed. Feed the good one. So tell me, this is from Mary Oliver's poem, tell me, what is it that you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? So if you are willing to address your fears and to overcome your fears, to build that bridge between fear to love through the power of forgiveness, where will this new experience, this new beginning, where will it take you? Forgiveness is building a bridge from fear to love. So I want to give the last word to my main man, James. This is one of the guys who was active in helping out after 9/11. Lots of folks, community groups, churches, did fundraisers, raised money and sent it to us to help support the food service that we were conducting every day. It cost $3,500 a day to do the food service. But we had people giving donations that far surpassed that. Well, James decided to get his youth group together at his church and talk to the owner of the local peanut butter factory and get him to donate huge vats of peanut butter. They got the peanut butter, they transferred the peanut butter into the small containers, you know, and they sold them and raised over $2,000 and sent it to us to St. Paul's Chapel. And that was such a beautiful thing. But let me tell you what was, in my opinion, even more beautiful. It was just incredible. It was the label they put on the peanut butter jars. It says simply this: spread the love. When we forgive others, when we forgive ourselves, when we forgive life, because tragedy is a natural part of life, we are opening up the capacity to love and to build on love and to increase the presence of love in the world and to spread the love. So it doesn't matter if it's chunky or smooth or low sodium, whatever. Spread the love, because that's important for the healing of our communities and the healing of our world. And so as we're embracing the future, keep in mind that on the playground, so as in life, the only way to move forward is to let go of the bar behind. I think I'll stop there. Thank you. I'm happy to take questions or comments. I'll be very kind. Thank you. Thank you so much.